Welcome to UAFF News, weekly headline overviews with Brooke Folk.
This is Brooke Folk, UAFF News headlines, March 23rd, 2012. Executive Doomsday Order. Obama authorizes government to seize farms, food processing plants, energy resources, transportation, skilled laborers during any national emergency. Mark Slavo from SHTFPLAN.com reported this week. While millions of people have been preparing for the possibility of catastrophic events by relocating to rural homesteads or farms, as well as stockpiling food, water, personal defense armaments, and other essential supplies, with the intention of utilizing these preparations if the worst happens, the latest executive order signed by President Obama on March 16, 2012, makes clear that in the event of a nationally deemed emergency, all of the resources will fall under the authority of the United States government. The signing of the National Defense Resources Preparedness Executive Order grants the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Labor, the Department of Defense, and other agencies complete control of all U.S. resources, including the ability to seize, confiscate, or redelegate resources, materials, services, and facilities as deemed necessary or appropriate to promote the national defense as delegated by the following agencies. Section 201, Priorities and Allocation Authorities. A. Number 1, the Secretary of Agriculture with respect to food resources, food resource facilities, livestock resources, veterinary resources, plant health resources, and the domestic distribution of farm equipment and commercial fertilizer. 2, the Secretary of Energy with respect to all forms of energy. 3, the Secretary of Health and Human Services with respect to health resources. 4, the Secretary of Transportation with respect to all forms of civil transportation. 5, the Secretary of Defense with respect to water resources. 6, the Secretary of Commerce with respect to all other materials, services, and facilities, including construction materials. The Secretary of each agency delegated authority under subsection A of this section, B, shall plan for and issue regulations to prioritize and allocate resources and establish standards and procedures by which the authority shall be used to promote the national defense under both emergency and non-emergency conditions. The new order provides specific definitions for each of these essential infrastructure elements, indicating that all resources, not just those owned by large farms and businesses, are to be directly controlled by the government. Thus, if you think the investments you made in the digging of water wells, building of solar arrays, or stockpiling foods were for your own personal use, think again. Additionally, like the Selective Service established to draft Americans into the military in the event of war, all Americans are automatically registered for the National Defense Executive Reserve, an agency responsible for identifying experts and skilled laborers for jobs that may need to be performed during national security. That means your entire work history is now stored, aggregated, and flagged in a national database, and you can be called out anytime and forced into service for national security reasons at a government-run institution or labor camp. To read more about these developments and other critical updates, go to UAFF 2012 News at uaff.us. This is Brooke Folk reporting for UAFF News.
UAFF News, www.uaff.us.